All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that's, frankly, a huge leap forward in AI, agents. We're finally moving past AI that just talks to us to AI that actually does stuff for us. So let's get right into it.
I mean, you've totally been there, right? You ask a chatbot a question, you get an answer, and, well, that's it. This quote from CodeWave just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures that frustration. Most AI today can talk a good game, but when it's time to actually do something, yeah, there's a big gap.
And that's exactly where AI agents come in. They're literally built to bridge that gap. We're talking about AI designed to reason, to plan, and, this is the key part, to actually carry out tasks all on their own. So instead of just talking about your to-do list, they can, start checking things off of it for you.
Okay, so what really separates a chatbot from an agent? I mean, what's the big deal? Well, it really all comes down to their core purpose, and frankly, how they're built from the ground up.
So look at it this way. A chatbot's job is pretty straightforward, right? It answers your questions based on what it knows. An AI agent, though, it has a mission. Its job is to actually use a set of tools to achieve a specific goal. Here's a great analogy. A librarian can find the book you're looking for. A personal assistant, on the other hand, they find the book, order it for you, and then put reading time on your calendar. See the difference? One gives information, the other takes action.
So the big question is, how do they actually pull this off? How do they think? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the core components that make these agents tick.
You can really break down an agent into four main parts. First up, you've got the brain. That's the large language model, the part that does all the reasoning and thinking. Then you've got the hands. These are its tools. Think APIs, which are just ways for the agent to interact with other software. Next is the map. This is basically the set of instructions, its goal, telling it where to go. And finally, you have the process, which is the engine that keeps the whole thing running. And all these parts, they don't just sit there. They work together in this constant cycle, what we call the core agent loop. It's actually pretty simple. The agent observes its environment, it thinks about what to do next, and then it acts using one of its tools. And it just keeps repeating that over and over, observe, think, act, until the job is done. Simple, but incredibly powerful.
Now, what's fascinating is that this really simple idea of a loop has led to some pretty different philosophies on how to build agents. And the best way to see this in action is to compare two of the most popular frameworks out there right now, Microsoft's AutoGen and CrewAI.
Okay, so on the left here with AutoGen, think of it like a conversation. It's like having a bunch of different expert agents in a room, all talking, debating, and collaborating until they land on the best solution. It's super flexible, but it can also be a little unpredictable. CrewAI, on the right, is completely different. It's much more like an assembly line. Each agent has a very specific role, a clear task, and they execute it in a sequence. This leads to a way more predictable and consistent result.
So the takeaway here isn't that one is better than the other, not at all. It really comes down to the job you need to get done, right tool for the right job. If you need some creative problem solving, something that requires a bit of back and forth, AutoGen's collaborative style is probably what you want. But if you have a really predictable, structured task, say, generating a weekly sales report, CrewAI's methodical, step-by-step approach is definitely the way to go.
All right, so that's the theory. Let's switch gears a bit and get practical. If you actually wanted to build a reliable AI agent yourself, where would you even begin?
Well, it really boils down to four key steps. First, and this is crucial, give the agent one specific job and a super clear definition of what done looks like. Second, build the exact tools it needs for that one job and nothing more. Third, you got to put up guardrails to prevent it from going off the rails. And finally, test it. Test it like crazy, just like you would with any other piece of software.
And this quote right here, it really highlights a critical point in building agents. It's not about writing some clever, magical prompt. A truly great agent is all about having well-built, reliable tools. See, when you have clear tools that expect very specific inputs, you stop the agent from getting confused, from getting stuck in a loop, or, and this is a big one, from doing something unsafe.
And a huge part of building those safeguard rails is thinking about tool risk. You have to categorize them. So, a tool that only reads information, that's low risk. A tool that can write something new, like, say, creating a support ticket, that's medium risk. But a tool that performs an irreversible action, we're talking charging a credit card or deleting data, that is high risk. And those should always, and I mean always, require a human to say yes before they can run. Okay, so when you put all this together, a clear purpose, really good tools, and strong safety measures, AI agents can have a massive impact in the real world.
Just take a look at this case study. There was a B2B software company that used Crew AI to completely automate how they track their competitors. And the result? They saved almost $95,000 a year in analyst time. Think about that. That's 11 hours of mind-numbing manual work just gone every single week.
And that's just one example, right? Agents are now being used for pretty much everything, from sorting customer support tickets automatically to performing really complex data analysis. They are quickly evolving from just a cool tech demo into a genuinely powerful tool that acts like a true workforce multiplier for teams.
But, this growing power and autonomy, it leaves us with a really tough, really important question. When an autonomous agent makes a big, costly mistake, who's responsible? Is it the developer who wrote the code, the company that deployed it, or maybe the person who gave it the initial command? That's the huge challenge we're all going to have to figure out as we step into this new frontier of automation.